Hey guys, this is Jeff Foose. I'm going to be starting a drum and worship tutorial online here, and it's going to be just covering what to play for worship songs, and also covering and playing to different worship songs, famous ones. So this first lesson that I wanted to do today was actually a request from my friend Sarah Zajac, and it's going to be a two-part video. The first part is going to be what to play and how to play during slow songs, and the second part is going to be what to do and how to play when there's free-flowing worship at the end of a service, which is usually when that happens. So the first part about how and what to play for a slow song, a lot of modern worship songs now are really tom heavy, so floor tom and small tom, and if you have more, you can actually obviously incorporate those. But so the basic rhythm that a lot of worship songs build around in slow songs is this. So one thing that you want to watch out for is that all your notes aren't the same volume, like that. So as you notice, the first example I played there's softer and louder notes, so unaccented and accented notes. So the main rhythm really sticks out there when you put those accents in place. So you might start out real soft like that with just the floor tom, and then you can always build up and amp it up more, and you can do that either by, well, a lot of it's done with the bass drum, but as far as your hands, you can even just adding this extra tom in, so that your hands are on both toms now. You could do that. Or you could play more, a little more even so. And then as I said, the bass drum will kind of give a lot more drive and direction as far as how big you want to make it too. So when you start out just on the floor tom, you're just playing a lot of times just beat one on the bass drum. So and then you might amp it up to all four quarter notes. And then eighth notes driving if it really starts to drive. So and by that point, you would at least bring in the other tom, but you can also add the snare drum on flams. So if you get to that real driving eighth note part or point, and then also another common thing in more recent worship songs is adding the crash with your right hand to one of those floor tom parts. So and then also adding the snare, obviously. So that's the kind of tom progression type worship song, and then you can also do the same thing with your snare. So that would add a little more rudiments. You can add, like, if you're familiar with paradiddles or flams, and even if you don't know all those rudiments, you can just do a simple 16th note rhythm, but make sure that it's not all the same volume. Like that, you want to play a little more dynamically, so you can kind of go up and down in your dynamics, and then the bass drum will follow the same progression that we did on the floor tom. So you can start with maybe just beat one, I'm playing that one, if I go to the all eighth notes, I'm doing more faster single stuff, more 30-second notes. So, and you can even do full 30-second notes if it's that big. So, like a really big build heading into like a huge chorus or something. So, and then when you get to the chorus, you can either ride the crash or crash the ride for your main rhythm there. And then, you know, different songs have different kick rhythms, but if you stick to just like a that's a pretty safe place to play that type of rhythm. And then sometimes it'll amp maybe up to all eighth notes again. And then if it gets really big, you'll go to 16th notes. So that type of thing. That's like usually like right toward the end of a song when it's really huge and you can get a little more active on your fills and stuff too. But generally in just a like regular volume big chorus, I wouldn't play too busy of fills. I'd just stick to simple 16th note kind of stuff. So fills that don't get in the way, but still add something kind of interesting in between the beat you have going on. So that kind of covers worship, what to play for a slow song. It's just kind of a gradual build. And then the part 2 of this video is talking about like when you're freestyling in worship. So for that, you just want to make sure that you're watching and listening to either the worship leader that's in front, or a lot of bands use in-ears now. So if you have a musical director, he should be guiding you as far as what to do. So, and maybe not, he might not be a drummer, but he can say, you know, start to build or back off. He might not know the drumming terms, but he can tell you how big or small to get. So you might just, when you come out of a big chorus, it might just drop to either ride if no one else is hearing the click, or nothing if the other band has, if the rest of the band has the click, and then they should just tell you, you know, bring it in a little more so you can go back to just the beat 1 on kick with the toms or snare. And then just build from there. And that's kind of how those flowy services go. It just gradually builds, just like the regular song did that you just came out of. So it should be like a story. You know, it starts small and then gets big at the end. And then the only other thing I wanted to touch on about freestyling in worship is sometimes they might say just the drums, or a cappella, which usually means drums along with the voices. So for that, I almost always stick to floor tom, kick, and snare, or some kind of rhythm that fits into what you were just playing. So from that, you could even build if they still wanted to go longer with just the vocals. So then that's when you could do the 8th note kick. So you can add some crashes. So basically you just want to add layers each time, so that it gets interesting and so that you have some place to go. You don't want to start, you wouldn't want to play an a cappella even though it's just you playing. You generally wouldn't want to start like with real big like that right out of the gate. Just like you wouldn't want to start a song real big if it's just a real soft piano or guitar intro. So it's all about building as you go. So those are important things to think about. And also, you definitely just want to listen and watch either the musical director that's guiding the team or the worship leader for any cues. And they should be giving you those too, so it works both ways. They need to be communicating that too. But it's your job as the drummer, because you're driving everybody. If you drop out, then everybody else is going to drop out. So you want to make sure you're knowing where to go next in the song, especially during a regular formatted song. You definitely don't want to be guessing where you're going, but freestyling can be a little intimidating at first. So hopefully those will give you some ideas of what to do. But it's basically just like you're building a regular song. You start soft, go to like medium, and then go really big toward the end when it gets huge. And then some of the other things are, they might just say, like I said, drums only, or you might just kind of be playing medium for a while, and then they say, bring it up, so then you can start to build. And that's another thing, just real quick. You can start, for builds, I like to start, if I'm doing like an 8th note build, I'll start there, and then I might go to more kick. So the kick kind of drives a lot of these parts. So if I'm starting there, then with the kick next, I might go that, and then you can go to 16th note unison hand. So that would be like right before you go to a full beat. Or you could do the same thing with a snare build. It's just all building basically in worship. With faster songs, there's not as much gradual building. It's kind of, you're just kind of driving through, especially if it's a straightforward song. There's not much room to do any building really, but on a slow worship song, you definitely want to make sure you start small and gradually get big, so you'll have somewhere to go. So I hope all those tips helped you. Those are really good foundational blocks. Not every worship song, and especially free-flowing part, goes exactly the same, but those are good places to start. And as long as, like I said, you're listening and watching to the worship leader or musical director, you should it should be pretty smooth the whole way through. So I know it can be a little intimidating, like I said, to start that kind of thing if you've never done it, but as long as you're watching and listening, that should put you definitely in the right direction. So I hope that helped. And if you have any requests for other things you'd like to see me cover, either songs or other questions about worship, comment down below, and also like, share, and subscribe this video. Thank you.